Welcome once again to yet another exciting episode on DM Live TV. My name is Thomas Twesige, your show host, and I'm excited, very, very excited to be hosting a young man who I have known for quite a while, but he has an amazing story. Every time I get a chance to speak with him, I leave very, very inspired. So, Mr. Dickens.
Yes.
Well, that's just one of your names, but maybe you can introduce yourself to our viewers, and then we can get into this very interesting conversation.
Great. Dickens Kasango Pesa. Pesa, yes, many people ask, but it's my grandfather's name, and it's one of the names later when I came to appreciate having inherited him. And yes, I'm a businessman, and I'm proud to be here.
Wow. So Pesa, like you say, is your grandfather's name, but Pesa also means money.
Yes.
And as I can see clearly, there's money written all over you and your story. Well, you've shared that you're a businessman, and perhaps let's have a conversation from that perspective. As a businessman, what do you do?
I'm into different sector businesses, and this range from public relations and a company called Pison Public Relations, currently works as the best public relations company in Uganda, to Procures and Supply, and Pison Procures Uganda and Pison Procures Limited Kenya, and I do export foods, I do health camps here and there, and I do loans and finance.
Also, in other words, you're a money lender as well.
Yes.
Okay, so that's interesting. I see that you do a number of things, and how do you manage to multitask and then also be able to deliver on all of those things? So first of all, I see you have Pison Procures, Pison PR,
Yes.
Pison Health Camps, and also, I don't know, I think Pison Procures is where you export fruit.
Yes.
So is that like a group? So do you have a Pison Group?
It's Pesa Group of Companies.
Pesa Group of Companies. So under Pesa Group, you have how many brands?
I have about five.
Five brands.
I've mentioned four here.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that sounds exciting. So let's just get into what does a typical day for you look like, Mr. Pesa?
A typical day would range from I break my operation into hours, where I segment depending on the priorities of that particular day and what we need. 3 hours for Pison PR, 3 hours for Pison Procures, and sometimes you need to run around the meetings. Sometimes you need to actually go on site to monitor and see the deliverables of these things. So my typical day is broken down, but it's custom made depending on what I need to achieve for that particular day. Having worked with you, you taught me how to set work plans. So every single week I have at least key deliverables I need to achieve in that particular day. And it's one of the things over the years I'm coming to appreciate, that every Sunday I'm sitting back and I'm assessing how progressive I've been the previous week and what do I need to do, because if I'm the best in PR today, I have to deliver better tomorrow.
That's
if
true.
I need to keep on the market top.
Yes.
And I need to look out for the latest market trends, because there's an ideology where you want to keep the best, but you're not studying of what people are doing in Dubai, what people are doing out there.
Yes.
And they have a role to play.
Market trends,
Yes.
all of that.
True.
So let's just go back maybe a little bit behind.
Okay.
When did you start Pesa Group, and what was the first brand that you put out?
I started Pesa Group and in about 2014, 2015, and having worked when I was young, I was given an opportunity by a gentleman called Dan Boston, the race program and Rising Woman. I learned a lot, and it got me to think out of the box, because I realized with time I couldn't fit within my peers. the things I thought about, the things I treasured, the conversations we had when
with your peers.
Yes, were not on the same page. The things that made sense to them was the alcohol. Who is the beautiful lady? Where are they going to spend the night? And I came to realize that if I don't appreciate my life at a young age, the things I'm going to get to 30 years, 40 years, and I'm not appreciating, I'll not have achieved. Yet I am a very ambitious man, and yet I want to achieve every ambition I set along the way.
Yes.
So I had to set goals, and I'd had a vision from when I was 3 years old, is to be the richest man in the world, but not because of the money, but the impact I can give out. Because growing up from a Christian perspective, having mentors of pastors, bishops along my line as I was growing up, I realized very many people, sometimes all they need is a job to pay them to be able to put food on their table, to be able to meet the health needs of their families.
Yes.
So that was part of the inspiration when I was starting out.
That's good. Interesting. So how and where? So there's this thing called capital.
Yes.
So as a young person, you were still able to launch out, start Pesa Group, and now you have 5 brands, like you say, and the Pesa Group, and I believe they're thriving.
Yes.
Yes. But then now, so let's talk about this thing called capital. How were you able to source for capital to start your business?
Amazing. My first capital was my first salary. I think it was 300,000 from Dan Boston. I remember it well because it kept on the account for over 2 months. And I questioned myself. I'd been in the industry. I'd done blogging, I'd done digital marketing, and part of the things I asked myself, how can I be relevant with the skill set I have that I can add value to the industry? And some of the things I looked at was if I'd set out a travel directory and a tour and travel company. So now that gave birth to digital travel experts. Right now, it's one of the companies I look back to and say, okay, it's been good. And I started with 300,000. I registered the name, then remained with the balance. Then went ahead and started working on a website because for me to achieve what I needed to do, I had to have a website backing. That even when I built traffic on the social media, I had to channel it somewhere.
Back to your website.
So I found myself that this money having spent a few months on the account, it had accumulated. Because now I had 2 months worth of salary, and I could pay for a domain name, I could pay for company registration, and I could start out at least from that scratch. Because digital marketing then, when you're doing more of a directory or a blogging site, you didn't need to have certain things that now they need, because now you need the UCC license for you to operate that particular sector. But I use that as a penetration. And I met certain people that along the way we partnered to get where I am.
So that's interesting. So you've talked about how, while people are thinking, can I drink, can I go party after receiving their first salary? For you, on the other hand, you were like, I think I need to focus on building something that, will last generations. And so you were able to save money and also, register and start this journey. But then you also mentioned something such as partnership. Now, how do you find the right partner? How do you know that this is the right partner? It may sound spiritual, but one thing I'm coming to appreciate across my life is, God you might call him God, you might call him Allah, you might call him Yod Heh, but in one way or another, you have a spiritual stream over you that you just don't meet people in every particular sphere. Like there's someone going before you, aligned with your destiny. And so sometimes it's the people I'm meeting in a room, probably going for a press conference, or we've gone out there, and I'm like, okay, this is someone who has virtue. They have information. If I work with them, we can accomplish this. And that's something I've seen through my life, whereby, an example, I bring in phones and laptops, but the very first time I started that business,
was as a result of having traveled to Dubai
Yes.
after my honeymoon.
Yes.
And I met this gentleman once, but I've made of over, I don't want to mention figures, but chunks of money as a result of just interacting with them once, to an extent that now I just give them a call and they send me products to Uganda. So now that that level of one, the trust has to be there, but then where do you see yourself doing in this? Because it has to have a commercial back.
Of course, the commercial back,
Yes.
it has to make business sense. I'm sure in your entrepreneurship journey, you have experienced rejection.
Yes.
And you meet people, you think you have the most brilliant idea in the whole world, you table it, and they trash it.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe I'd like for you to share how you respond to rejection from that perspective, from a business perspective. How do you respond to rejection?
It's something, because I relate to it, and I don't want to cry in the process, but it's I think for every entrepreneur, it's something we relate to every single day. But part of the encouragement we actually have is, I'm adding value to that next life. When you're starting up, we talked about earlier on the health initiative. I started Spark Bra as an inspiration. When I found my wife, she had a lump in one of her right breast, and sharing with me that story, I was touched and thought of ways I could actually avail healthcare at an affordable rate. Sometimes people don't have insurance, they can't afford it. They don't have, they
can't even afford a checkup.
Yes, they can't afford a checkup. But if I avail it to you at 20,000 shillings, in a place where you meet a guy, you meet a pediatrician, you meet a variety of these doctors, and to me, that story is going to make one of the testimonies we had. In our very first health initiative camp, we had a lady of 70 years old that when she came through, she had issues with her menstruation period, and every time she would get to that, she wouldn't work because she would overbleed, and she interacted with the guy for an hour. This time, she would have paid chunks of money, and she was given a solution. Now, looking into that lady's eyes.
At 90 years?
At 70. And she shared that story.
Yes.
I was encouraged because, okay, there she was, maybe that particular time, she didn't know how to go about it. But here is an opportunity, and she can interface with this particular person without, at an affordable rate, she can afford this particular money, and she's given feedback. She could maybe afford it's a family thing, it's a culture thing, but you even building self-esteem in the process.
Yes.
So that's part of the encouragement, that life we're going to impact, that difference we're going to make in the economy, that distinction we're going to help someone to put food on the table, to help them clothe their children and give them a better education. So that's the inspiration, but it's something we face day in, day out. But at the end of the day, the vision, what you want to achieve,
you keep that at the forefront.
Yes, you keep that at the forefront.
And you just walk through all these mountains of rejection.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned that Pison PR is listed as one of the best PR companies, PR firms in Uganda.
Yes.
Maybe you can just share with us the psyche behind that. Like, how did you get to become, how did Pison PR get ranked as the #1 firm?
Okay, thank you. Having worked in PR and worked closely with different PR firms, I realized there was a big segment whereby the traditional PR associations were more drawn to it's either radio, it's either television, it's either newspaper. Yet over the past 5 years, over the past 7 years, we've had a transition whereby into digital. It's now digital PR.
Yes.
That even when you're telling a story, before Pison Procures is a supplying company, it is first a media company. And here is what I mean, that before I'm selling your product, I'm telling a story. in one or direction, in one way or the other. So I'm telling you a story about something or solution I can offer you before I even sell your product. So in one way, if it's Stanbic and it's offering out loans, it's first a media company before a loans company. Yes.
Okay, so basically that shift from the old way of doing things to this fresh way of leveraging digital marketing.
Yes.
That's interesting. So you also mentioned that you registered Pison something limited in Nairobi?
Yes, a Pison Procures.
Pison Procures limited in Nairobi. So what do you do on the Pison Procures? What do you do in Nairobi?
Pison Procures it's been an inspiration because I've dealt around schools. I've dealt around schools, hotels, hospitals for quite some time. And
what do you do exactly?
And I supply right from the things they need to day-to-day operate, right from the stationery, right from the furniture to the foods, to the medicines, to the injections, to the school cups, to the plates. So we give.
So basically, you take care of
everything
through the value chain.
In the value chain.
Even food.
Yes, and I mind to that in the long term. I look at where we've been importing in panels into this country, but my mind is if I can have 100 hospitals and we've been previously importing these particular things, we can have a factory and we buy a franchise as Pison Procures Limited, and we can manufacture these things. Because I'm looking into a place whereby I don't just want to make money out of Uganda and invest elsewhere and probably invest in the value addition. I want to have the value addition at every stage. So that's my mind.
Okay. That's exciting. So what would you say has been the most exciting milestone or thing that, as Pesa Group, this one thing happened and you're like, wow, this validates everything that we're doing, and we just have to keep pushing?
There have been several, but I could point out one. During COVID, when COVID hit, we had chunks, millions of money out in people. And it's a hard place.
You mean people had received goods worth millions, and you had also lent out money?
Yes, and also lent out money.
Okay.
And here we are, we're in lockdown. We do not know how long it's going to be. And so I was caught in between, and when I don't want to say I almost hit depression, but I talked to my wife and I'm like, you know what, I think I'm gonna have an issue, but let me come over to Nairobi because I also have a home in Nairobi, and we find a way at least to get my mind out from focusing on the money we actually have out there. So when I go to Nairobi,
so you traveled during COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I go to Nairobi, I realized, okay, I can't be in a home. I'm a provider. I'm a husband in this family, and I started looking out for opportunities. So I started going out to the markets and I'm looking for what things can I add into this value chain, into this particular country. And honestly speaking, we've so far done over 10 trucks exporting pineapples from Uganda to Nairobi. I've done 600 trays, and this is something if I
trays of what?
Eggs. If I had not started that during COVID, right now, if I need goods to travel from Uganda to Nairobi, there's no aspect in the value chain. I don't know, and I do not know who to pay when, where, what time the goods have to leave, what particular place to have them at the destination at this particular place. So I think even when we hit COVID, we had to think out of the box. So to me, yes, we've had several achievements, but the fact that now this gave birth to even Pison Procures Limited Nairobi, it gives us an opportunity to see that, okay, even when the tough times come, we can still
rise above them.
Yes.
That's exciting. That's wonderful. Do you have any children?
Yes, I'm a father of two and expecting one. Yes, Christian, Crystal. and also on the way.
So how do you balance between your fatherhood role and your work? Because you see that you're very busy.
Yes.
Then you're also a parent. How do you manage that? Just a little bit about that.
Part of the things I do is I create time, family time. When I get into the home, I want them to feel I have availed time.
Yes.
Time to them.
Yes. How do you do that?
If it means, an example, if I get back home at 6 o'clock, I want to spend at least 10 to 20 minutes prime time just hearing out the child, understanding what they're struggling with on the day. I started out something with who are partnered with my government called Spark Kids, and we've been doing comics. And the inspiration behind this had been that sometimes we parents are so busy to even just understand what a child or children is dealing with. Right now, the media is communicating something else. When they read a magazine, it's communicating something else. When you put them on television, it's also communicating something else. But then, on the other hand, how are you as a parent contributing to override all this information?
Yes.
Because when in an age whereby they know the technology
more than us, they can
yes.
use it and manipulate these things.
True, but how as a parent are you going to relate to each one of the individual problem? Because now when you come in and you're probably father of 2, 3, 4 children, that means that you're going to have to give each one of them time to feel loved.
They're different children. And they have different personalities and things of that nature. Well, Dickens, it's been quite a morning hosting you here on DM Live TV. We're always excited to hear inspiring stories like your own. And if you're out there watching this channel right now, subscribe to our channel. You'll see the ring button, the bell button right next to it. Click on it so that you don't miss out on any episode. It's been a privilege hosting Mr. Dickens Kasango Pesa of the Pesa Group. So he's a one-stop shop for all your procurement needs, for all your money needs, if you need a loan, and if you have PR needs as well, he'll sort you out. If you also have health needs, again, also they can take care of that, and also all the needs in regards to PR, media, and supplies. Yes, supplies. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Pesa Kasango Dickens, who is the CEO and founder of Pesa Group. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Also, you can follow him on their social media platforms, which are
Pison PR, Pison PR, and outside is pisonpr.com. Pison Procures .co, that's for Uganda. Pison Procures.co.ke, that's for Kenya. And then Finance.co, that's the loans company.
Finance.
Yes. And we'll be ready to have and receive you to give you the best services out of this market at the affordable rates.
Currently, where are your offices?
Our offices at Maburizi Complex, and in Nairobi, we're at Tropical Towers, L477. Yes.
Well, to our Nairobi people, you can also reach out to Mr. Pesa once you are at that tropical building. L7.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and keep it locked on DM Live TV. See you next time with another exciting interview.
Pison Public Relations. We are a public relations company that specializes in a host of services to solve, promote, and create your business brand needs. For details, log on to www.pisonpr.com, email Dickens Pesa at pisonpr.com, or call us on 0777 720 058 or 0758 885 637. Pison Public Relations. Talk to the world. Succeeding in business is never easy, and that is why Sook Finance is here to partner with you as you take your business to the next level of growth. Are you looking for business or personal loans, salary advancements, support savings, invoice and SME financing? Well, at Sook Finance, you'll obtain hassle-free financial support at competitive rates of interest. Contact us on 0777 720 058 or 0758 885 637 or log on to www.sookfinance.com. Sook Finance, lending to the world.